Welcome to another A Day in a Life Off. Today we have heads of the customer success departments, and it's going to be a very interesting episode for me because I'm also head of customer success here at Wonderway. I'll do my best not to give my opinion because I want my speakers to speak their mind. Today I'm just in a moderator role. So I will let them introduce themselves. We have Emina from Orgnostic, Daniel from Lead Feeder, and Yair from Control Up. So Emina, let us know what you do, who you are. Welcome.
Great. Great. Thank you, Mafalda. It's really nice to be here, and I'm excited about our discussion today. So, as you mentioned, my name is Amina Hodjic. I work as a customer success director in a company called Orgnostic. We are a startup in the HR tech space. Basically, what we do is that we built a people analytics platform that captures all the moments that matter in the employee journey, from recruitment, onboarding, performance, and exit. And I think that probably we can relate to that if we map it to the customer journey and how we observe the stages there. In the, let's say, previous life or the life before this one, I used to be a chief HR officer. So when you say that I walked a mile in our customer shoes, it's literally that. And that was one of the reasons I actually took the role to help build a tool for other HRs and understand it from the perspective of multiple different organizations, and of course, try to convey that message to our product team.
I can relate to that because I'm also head of customer success now in a company that the product is for sales and business development, and I come from a business development department, so I have a very similar path to yours. Dania, how about you?
Thank you. Great to be here with all of you. So my name is Dania, Director of Customer Success at Leadfeeder. We are website identification software. We recently merged with EchoBot. So for next year, our mission is to become the go-to-market platform in Europe. As for myself, I have a sales and marketing background, and that is exactly the teams that we are helping. So that is again, in line with all of you. I know what our customers are doing. I know their challenges. So I'm happy to be in a position to help them now to achieve success.
Nice. Very nice. Welcome. Yair, how about you?
So I'm Yair. I'm working in Control Up as the head of customer success operations. I'm leading a team of three. We are in charge of more than 2/3 of our company customers, more than 1,000 accounts, and we're using technology in order to do that. Unlike you guys, I never walked my customers' shoes before. I never was an IT admin. Our company is providing a platform that allow the IT teams to see what the hell we, the users, the employee, are doing with our laptops and our installs of SaaS applications. So the digital resources that they provide us so we can do our work, we provide them visibility on the quality and the experience that employees have. So I can relate to that, but how to fix things, that's not me. So I didn't walk in my customers' shoes.
But that's why I have all these three speakers. I usually say if all the roles were the same, right? I just need one speaker. I don't need three, but I like to have three because each department is different according to industries, backgrounds, company sizes, and that's why I love to have three different people having three different experiences, even though they do more or less the same thing. And let's crack on. Dania, how is being a head of customer success? Let's start general.
It's great. I think it gives you an opportunity to always look into the kitchen of the customers, because in the end, what my team is responsible for is building these relationships and growing the relationships. And therefore, we need to be able to help the customers achieve value. So I think it's very exciting and diverse because you're always kind of into the customer's mind of how can I show them value with the software tool that they are using. So yeah, I'm really happy to be able to mentor and build a team that is focusing on that. I think it's a very rewarding job.
Yair, I see you nodding. How about you?
Yeah, so my passion is to help people, move from point A to point B, and hopefully point B is better. Yeah. And customer success, it's all about that, empowering our champions, empowering our employees, and making sure that they are getting and achieving their own personal goals and company goals. So this is very exciting to see the progress and development of people, and we are people. So it's just the interaction, the human interaction, and actually helping them, if it's in a personal way or even in a digital experience, like we do in my team. It's still very rewarding. Rewarding. My Hebrew accent kicks in. So, but
It's fine. I think we all have accents. None of us are English native speakers in this talk. It's fine. Last talk I was with three native English speakers. I was like, I'm the only one with an accent.
exactly. So I'm in a good company, so I have no problems. But basically, the whole experience is great, and you come every morning with a sense of mission
Yeah.
and a sense of accomplished in the end of the day or the end of the quarter. So this is from our perspective as customer success people. Let's say the CFOs and the company side has a different take on what they want us to do, but that's a different story.
That's departments, different visions. That's an innuendo in everyone's lives. Emina, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely can agree with Yair and want to build out on that. The way I see it is like this external and internal function. Just feeling everybody needs a sense of purpose. So we are in touch with customers, and we get to really like have multiple senses of purpose in a way that if we help really different organizations achieve their goals with our product, ultimately you kind of have the sense of success constantly. And I think that's very important for motivation of our team members as well. But of course, it translates into the bottom line for these other functions that Yair was mentioning and what they originally expect us to do, right? And I think that internally, besides the, of course, financial part, is also the impact that we can have on the product development, being a voice of the customer, and kind of conveying this message for the next steps of development, where the market is going, and we're kind of at the source of information. So it's always good to be there and to listen to different conversations. And I think, Mafalda, what you mentioned at the beginning, different companies, different sizes, locations, everybody has different problems, and we're trying to find one solution for those problems. So it's always interesting and challenging.
Yeah, always in the battlefield, right? Yeah,
Kind of.
always in the middle, always the middleman, middle woman. And Emina, how do you usually structure your day? How does your day look like?
Well, we are still a startup company, so as you can imagine, it's quite hectic.
I can imagine.
We are very, yeah, we are very much focused on the execution, and let's say compared to some kind of scaling, which maybe I can see Dania going through with the merger and everything of the teams. So usually my day starts in a very organized way because I prepared it the day before. What are the things that I'm going to do, and then something happens and like messes up with the schedule.
Yeah.
But I think that yeah, normally there are some things that we can influence in terms of the schedule, and that's always all the customer conversations we have and the preparation for those conversations, and just leaving the time to really thoroughly kind of go through the preparation and the follow-ups and everything. And when internally talking to the team and trying to pass on this message again, kind of scheduling blocks of time for focused work for that sense, because it definitely impacts a lot of notifications that are coming at you from different sides, externally, internally. You're trying to manage that. So in my schedule, I would say that I try to balance between the time I dedicate externally and kind of be strict about it, and also be strict about some focused time work, because it usually is related to some strategic initiatives, some product work where we can kind of contribute in a long run. So I see the value in investing time there.
I never had the, I could never block focus time. That's definitely a weakness I have. Denia, I saw you nodding a lot. What do you have to add here?
It's very recognizable. I think there's always a balance between ad hoc and all the things that work more longer term, maybe towards your strategy. And I think that is something that, regardless of kind of growth, when I joined our team, whole customer success, we're 5 people, now we're 30. The challenges are more or less the same, just bigger. And I think it's always a balance between these ad hoc things that seem maybe urgent in the moment, and the longer term, the strategy, the analysis, building the team, mentoring the team. So it's a continuous, I would say, kind of prioritization battle. And I think focus time, it's so important. I think ideally you would take some time off, like Slack, Gmail, but it's difficult.
It is difficult.
Definitely. No, it's definitely difficult to have the quiet time, because, as you said, Slack is popping in, and then you see an email that you waited for from a customer, and you want to reply right away, and it's very, very difficult to take this quiet time. That's why we have weekends. No, I'm joking.
Yes.
but or Christmas in Israel, we work in Christmas, so that's a quiet time for me. But in my team, we do focus a lot of designing the customer experience in a way, because we manage thousands of accounts and we are only 3. So it's a different challenge of providing an experience and providing the right recommendation at the right time. So we use a lot of technology, we use a lot of customer data in order to understand exactly how we can be as personal as possible to our customers, even though it's very clear to everybody that this is an automatic engagement. And so it's a great challenge, because I feel sometimes like a product manager, in a sense that I'm designing an experience, and in the end, it's never 100% digital. In the end, they reply your emails. If you like it or not, they reply your emails. Even if you only you wanted them to click the link, they sometimes reply your emails. So there is always like a challenge between the personal and the digital in our case, and there is a lot of thought behind it, and you need that quiet time. So for my teammates, we have 8 hours a month where they can take like a half a day every couple of weeks. One is to design their own personal projects, and the other is just to learn something. So if they can watch webinars, they can read a book, they can see anything, but if anything that they can learn, that in the end it will contribute their work. So we did carve like a half a day that they can take off for personal growth as well.
I'm glad you mentioned challenges. Which other challenges would you say are associated with customer success in general?
In general, there are a number of, I call it a 4 archetype cast of a customer. Okay, you have the customer that knows everything, that doesn't, I will figure out by myself, leave me alone. And then he actually does what we want them to do by themselves, using online resources, or just they are smart guys and very dedicated. They are the one that we really, really love. They love to meet with us. They love the product. They listen to our recommendation. They are engaging with us. That's fine. That's great. We have the ones that usually they are the smaller accounts. You know, the one that the license value is lower. It's the hold my hand and do my work for me, please. Those are the guys that it takes the most out of your time and give you and not really appreciate that, and you don't feel like there is any sense like they can take away the the lifeboat or whatever. They always need you to hold their hands. And the one that we really hate is the one that are ghosting us. They are not using the product. They are not replying to us. They never next to their phone, and you don't have their mobile, and you chase them in LinkedIn and whatever. So
Oh,
these are the
everywhere.
all
They
everywhere.
just they disappear. It's funny
Exactly.
you mentioned that because as I mentioned, I used to work in business development and sales. And when I moved, I was like, oh, finally, I'm not going to get ghosted anymore. And guess what? I was so wrong. You muted, Yair.
Okay, so yes, those ghosting guys really are the fourth type that it's really
That's the
hard to
biggest
crack.
challenge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hard to crack.
Yeah. How about you, Daniel? Which other challenges do you have?
I think a part comes down to getting that value perception across. There's a lot of customers that buy and then expect that the software is going to solve suddenly every problem, but of course it's around building a process usually. And I think something that will be a challenge and maybe is already being is obviously in the current economy that people will be more critical with what they spend their money on.
Yeah.
Therefore, I think they will expect more of a customer success manager. And I think next year the focus is really going to be on renewals. I think that will be a challenge, an exciting challenge, but I think the renewals will become tougher than they have been in the recent years. So I think that is a challenge, but a good challenge to have because it makes you sharper, right? I try to get the team to focus on that value perception, getting that across, and to build the relationship. So I think it's an opportunity as well.
Yeah, there is way more scrutiny and there are more departments involved as well in the decisions. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. How about you, Emina? Any other challenges that you see in the department?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with Yair in terms of creating a great customer experience for different type of customers, and this difference between having too much touch points or not enough touch points and how much engagement they want, etc. And I think that one of the challenges is building this into the product as well. And trying to scale so that the engagement of customer success is less compared to the product. So we've actually had a great feedback about our customer success experience and the customer's experience with us, but we want to translate that to the product. So now how do you do that? And another thing that maybe I can say is also related to the scaling of the knowledge. So we are kind of pioneering in our specific niche in terms of people analytics. It's a skill that the HR people are just now learning, or they discover they need it. The workplace has changed a lot. Everybody is thinking in terms of remote workplace. How do you feel the sentiment of employees when they are worldwide, dislocated, and etc. And now they need to turn to data. They can't really, know it as a hunch. Okay, the people are motivated or not, etc. And I think that it evolves to use our product. First, we need to kind of invest a lot in educating our customers.
Yes.
And these kind of initiatives also became a part of customer success function in the end.
I want to take 2 points from Emina and Dana. Customers do expect to click a button, and that's what they need to do. Okay, basically, that's linked to what you said about the product and how we can influence it. Because most companies, and I worked with a lot, I'm already 46 years old. So I've been around in a number of companies already. Most companies are great in explaining why during the sales process, and the CSMs are very good in explaining how to do things. But the what can we do with the product? That is sometimes that's the real challenge, and sometimes it's disregarded by product by a lot of what else can we do and the expectations. And I had a discussion with another guy, said, "You're an account manager." And I said, "No, I'm a customer success manager." And there is a complete difference between an account manager and a customer success manager. A customer success manager, especially in the strategic accounts, is a consultant in a
Yeah.
sense. You are not just providing a good service that you can compare it to other companies. Our reaction time is better and all that. Actually, what they're looking for is in us to not just explain them how you do things, but what else can we do? So teach us. You have hundreds of customers or thousands of customers. You learn from them. You see what they're doing. Tell me what they are doing so I can do that too. So the expectations is not just teach me the features and stuff, actually help me drive the value and understand how can I do my work better, easier. And if I need only to click a button, that's what I want. So basically, I think this is good for every SaaS company and every product
Yes.
oriented company. Customers are expecting you to have a list of takeaways, okay, and just pick them and click enter, and the system does it by themselves. Configure and more features and more capabilities. From my experience, just annoying the customer, confusing them, and in the end, everything needs to be consolidated. And this is a very important message that we can give our product, where they are very focused on developing this feature and that feature and that feature. And in the end, just develop one button that can utilize those features, and not don't ask the customers or expect the customers to do that. So that's a main difference that I see in my experience.
I love what you're saying, because here in my company, we call customer success the agents. We call them sales enablement consultants, because they not only help you obviously to use the tool, but we give sales consultancy a bit as well. So because it's what you mentioned, of course we could just give you access to the tool, it's easy to use, but they expect more than that. We exploit that drive. It's exactly what you mentioned. Then yeah, I see you nodding a lot.
Yeah, it's a really known discussion. I think it's especially in our case where we work with intent data. So what you get are leads and all these, but you need to act on these to get value. And it's no button can do your sales outreach for you. So a lot of it comes down to education. So I agree that the customer success managers in a lot of instances they turn more into consultants. And with my own customers, when I was handling them, a lot of it was focused on what do you do outside of our software, because the software is easy to use, that's one thing, but it's now what do you do. And I think that is a really big challenge, that's getting the customer to think beyond the features. And I always tell the team, like, instead of explaining the what, you also need to explain the why. Because they know that, okay, now I can do this button does that, great. But why would I do that? What is the outcome that it will give me? So it's kind
Yeah.
of going from feature-based conversations to outcome-based conversations. I think that is, and that is into that consultant space that you mentioned. So that's why I was nodding. I find it familiar.
In the end, we are storytellers. And I muted myself again. I need to take the keyboard away. But in the end, we are storytellers. Okay, so uh, we don't just explain the feature, but another customer of mine, what he did with that is amazing. It fixes that problem. Do you have that problem? I said yes. Okay, so let's work together and do that. So if we make it a bit more contentable, more simple for them to understand, then we are very successful in driving a value in our customers, because
Absolutely.
we can do the work for them, but we need to I call them tease them with their imagination, just take them to the right, point them to the right direction. This is how our other customers are doing, and this is storytelling one-on-one.
Yeah, and
That's
if
basically.
and even what you mentioned, I mean, all of you, I usually to my customer success managers, we teach them how to do discovery call, even though they're not account executives, because many times, as I'm sure you will agree, a customer asks for a feature, but what are you trying to solve? Because maybe that's not the right feature for it, right?
Yeah, I agree. We can, if we are smart and know what we are doing, we can reduce the number of feature requests our customers can, and actually come with a better feature request with a discussion with the customer.
100%.
And then we can drive the product to the right direction. So, uh, Emina, we're working in a startup. I don't know how young it is, but uh, being a CSM in a young startup, is it's coming from Israel. We have a lot of those startups, and
You
I
do.
had that experience. I had that experience. It's exciting because most of your customers are design partners, because you have the product has an idea, and then the customer sometimes takes that technology or takes this idea, and it takes it to a different direction. And if we do our job right, and we act as a bridge and sometimes just as a facilitator between product and the customer and the field itself, we can save time to our company by developing useless features, and on the other hand, focus them on what the actual customers needs in the field instead of what they think they need. And this is also part of our job as well.
Absolutely. If I can build on that, I do feel that the role maybe in a startup is quite different to, let's say, an enterprise. When I used to be in HR, I worked very closely with go-to-market functions with sales and customer in a huge scale-up that had around 4,000 people. And now when I compare it to the function in our organization, as you said, Yair, we really do influence every step of the product development. And I think this brings us to the point, what are the skills that the customer success members need to have in, let's say, a specific environment? Because a lot of our conversations are actually product discovery, and the bottom line is asking the right questions, kind of educating the customers throughout that process, but also bringing the trends and our knowledge from the industry to the customer. And this again goes back to that being a consultant, being exposed to so many customers. We are in a position where our customers expect us to kind of guide them through the process and tell them, this is something that is trending now, and you should take a look at it because it might be relevant to the organization. But then again, it is a very, very slippery slope, because something is new and it's flashy, and everybody is talking about it. It's a trend topic, and then
the hype,
you
right?
see this. Exactly. And you see this FOMO in the customers in a way that, oh, we need this is a great feature, we need it. But actually they don't have maybe a use case for it. It's just that other companies are doing it, and they feel that they will be left out, or they're gonna miss the train for something, etc. So it's a question whether sometimes some really basic functions of the product can actually make a bigger impact to their organization compared to some, let's say, fancy predictive solution that they think they need just because everybody is talking about it.
I love that.
Just to continue, when a customer is shopping to your competitors, when they start asking for features that your competitors have. So
Yes.
that's a very strong signal that somebody else is looking at your competitors. So, and sometimes you just develop those features to say for checkbox, how many features our product are developing just to have a checkbox in the questionnaires, in the menu that our customers thinks they need. But in the end, what we need to show, especially the decision maker, especially in this economy that we are going in 2023 is going to be way worse than 2022, I think,
Yes.
is
Yes.
we need constantly to prove our value to the customers and to prove it to the decision makers. And this is something that I'm hearing from my customers a lot because our customers really love the product. But sometimes, as you mentioned before, cuts needed to be done because of energy prices, and sometimes you need to cut,
Yeah.
and we need to prove our customers that every dollar that they're investing in us, they're getting $2 back or $1.50 back, or and sometimes it's very very difficult, and we are pushing our product to team to help us, visualize in graphs that it's easy to understand that the actual value, the actual money value that we are providing our customers.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot agree more. In terms of ideas, so we talk about how we get inspired and we get ideas from our customers. For our role itself, how do you get inspired and ideas to improve the customer success? Yair, we can start with you. How do you get
So,
ideas?
first of all, the customer success community is wonderful. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have a lot of webinars, you have books, you have people that many of my ideas came. I saw a webinar, I saw someone who really I liked what he said, and then I contacted them via LinkedIn, and we started to have a discussion. And we had I had like a personal consultation. We had like a nice brainstorming. So our community is very, very out there. We like, because we are a young profession. And
Yeah.
I saw a survey that was just was published a month ago by Churn Zero, that more than 80% of CS professionals are less than 10 years in the profession, and about 45% are less than 5 years. So we are a young profession and young professionals. Most of us are not doing it a lot. I personally belong to the 18% that does it more than 10 years. But beside that, most of us are not. And we are trying to figure it out still, even though we are 15, 16 years in the industry. So webinars, there are wonderful webinars, wonderful thought leaders out there, podcasts, and the actual people. So if you find someone that you like his thought process, his ideas or her ideas, there are a lot of good women in our professional, a lot strong leaders in the professionals as well. So it's very nice. Um, so if you like someone linked into them, just connect and ask questions. Books are great. There are wonderful books there, and webinars, definitely.
Sounds good. Yeah, I agree. How about you, Dania? How do you get ideas?
So I agree with a big part that Yair said. Obviously, we met at an event, which I think
Yes,
is
we did.
so important.
It
I'm
is.
so happy that we are back to doing these in person. It
Me
has
too.
been so much better. But I think for myself, also a really big part where I'm learning a lot from is really the people in our team. Like I ask them a lot of questions. Like they are a lot closer to the kind of day to day with the customers now than I am. So I always ask them what would they do, improvements, feedback, and I think that is really important to also, apart from the outside world where you have a lot of great content, to also look at the people that are closest to the customers or the customers themselves, and just ask questions and listen. Kind of the discovery parts that Amina mentioned, that is so important to do with customers. Now I try to do it as well within our team, to kind of see what is it that our team members think we should improve, and where I can get my ideas from as well. So I think that is really a two-way of the whole bulk of external information that's there. And I myself, I love the idea of mentors. When I started in customer success, I also reached out to people, what Jay is saying, and just made connections. And you don't need to reinvent the wheel. I think there's people
100%.
that have done it. So
yeah, absolutely. Amina, we almost met in an event, but besides events, how do you get inspired for your job?
Yeah, I think Denia and Yair already mentioned external and internal inspirations that may come. But one thing that I would additionally add there is just other functions or content related to other, let's say, just ideas or the thought process behind it. I find myself very often reading something related to product or marketing, something related to design thinking, for example, and then I get an idea of how that could be transitioned in like our iterations within the team or externally towards the customers. And it's something I guess I learned from HR in a way that a lot of the employee journey and life cycle and touch points, etc., was actually kind of borrowed and learned from customer success, and the way that we just started thinking in that way kind of helped me really find inspiration in the content that is out there for different functions, and that it's really transferable no matter the area where you work.
Yeah, absolutely. We are unfortunately almost finishing the show. I have one last question, which is usually my favorite. So in this part, I usually show an email that was written to the department, and then we have live feedback from our speakers if you think that email speaks to the department, if it resonates with your challenges, or if it's very, very far away. So as I mentioned in the beginning, today I'm not here to give any opinions, so I will just read and give the mic to you. So let's go. So hi, Amina, Yair, Denia. In downturn economies, renewing and upselling customers become more crucial than ever before. However, due to this complex environment, it's hard to keep track and prioritize the customers that are more at risk. Our Customer Insights platform provides real-time data so your team knows where to focus most of their time in order to reduce churn. Would you be open to seeing how it works? Best, John. Denia, I'm going to give the mic to you first.
Thank you.
No worries.
Let's see. I mean, so I just try to bring it in a nice way, but it's very unpersonalized. I think a lot of assumption. If I would receive this, and maybe I have received this, it sounds very familiar, but seems like not a lot of research has been done into this specific person, their challenges, their product. So that for me would already be at least he's trying to keep it actual with like the downturn economies, but it's just very, very broad. I would say I would like a real specific outcome that this platform would give me instead of real-time data, so my team knows where to focus most of their time, because I assume they already know where to focus their time.
You hope so, right?
Yes. Exactly. So just one specific mini outcome and one specific line that shows that you actually read into what I'm doing or what my company is doing, then that would be nice, I would say.
Makes sense. Amina, what's your take here?
Yeah, I guess it would be an email used for some kind of cold outreach. I wonder, whether that's the appropriate strategy, depending who is on the other side. and as Danny already mentioned, it's a very general email, so like nothing really pops up. I see a lot of people just moving this to their like trash can, or completely ignoring in their inboxes. So I think that it in today is definitely an environment where you are being constantly bombarded with different aspects. The question is, first, like whether an email is an appropriate tool, and if there is something that really sparked my interest here, is it something that's related to me? Do I have this problem at the moment? Does my company have it? Is it something that maybe, my company is going into a certain stage and then I could expect something like that? Yeah, so it's very actually hard. You need to read it twice to understand what they are pitching.
Yeah.
So I guess nobody has that just span of focus today.
100%. Yeah, what's your opinion?
So yeah, I know what they're selling, and I'm getting those approaches a lot of via LinkedIn. A lot, half of the people that are communicating with me trying to sell something to me. I decided, I think 8 months ago, that I'm going to answer each approach, and
Interesting.
so even though I agree with everything that was said here, I'm answering everyone, and there are a lot of technology companies out there that can actually help us. And basically, this is a challenge that we have because we know how to prioritize only where we point the flashlight to.
Yep.
And there are very few companies that have the data science and the data in the data behind this, so you can see the entire room and then prioritize. But sometimes the way we prioritize is where where the flashlights light, and that's what we see. So in a sense, it was very general, nothing specific. I completely agree. This is SDR approach, cold calling. It's a sequence in outreach or in LinkedIn or whatever. It's very clear that they're selling you something. But I found the two technologies that I'm using in order to to engage with my customers, just like that, you never know if you find the right fit, but it can be overwhelming. And more than 60% of my mailbox is about vendors that are trying to sell me something. And sometimes you need to shut this down. So I completely agree with everything. But, but definitely it's going to be a challenge because if we're looking at 2023, and I will try to put it in 2 sentences because we don't have a lot of time. The priority that we have is not just not to lose customers, but where we can invest our resources, our very special and expensive resources, to impact the bottom line. And sometimes we will get more results in upselling an existing customers than preventing churn. Preventing churn is harder than focusing on upsell. And sometimes the upsell can be significant higher in revenue than the low churn. So just on that topic, there are a lot of vendors out there that can help us prioritize what the minimum action that we can do to get an outcome that will increase the revenue or prevent churn. So if I have 10 hours, these kind of tools can help us exactly how to be the most effective in those 10 hours to bring back the return that our CFOs and managers really like us to bring. So that's my point.
Amazing.
I would say one thing for that person: if it's a real email and someone did actually send it, and that person also watches this, if they send me an DM on LinkedIn, I will help them. I will make up for my comments. Like we can have 30 minutes and I can go over with you.
Then yeah, wait. You don't know what you're going into.
Only for John.
Only for John. John, if you're hearing us, you feel free to contact Dania and pick her brain. Amazing. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I have loads of questions. I always do in these kind of episodes, but we are already in the end of the show. Thank you so much, Emina, Yair, and Dania, for your time, for amazing insights, for this therapeutical session for myself as the head of customer success as well. It was really a pleasure. And I'll see you on LinkedIn throughout 2023. Let's see how it goes. Have a good one. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.